Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Honda CR-V EXL. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with the CR-V. Check out their inventory in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 1.5 liter four-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. Now, fuel economy is 27 around town and then 32 on the highway, with power outputs being 190 horsepower and then 179 pound-feet of torque. Now, the big benefit to this being turbocharged is the fact that it's going to perform better at elevation. You guys can see here in Utah, we've got these mountains and everything. We are at about 4,500 feet elevation here, so that's a huge benefit. And obviously, the better fuel economy that you get with having a smaller displacement turbocharged engine. But yeah, that's everything under the hood rather. Now let's go over the front end of the CR-V. First off, we're actually going to focus on the lights because they are timed and they're going to shut off. So you've got the running light there, and then you do have the projector bulb. It is a halogen bulb, and you guys can see now it shut off automatically just to save the battery. It's a cool function that Honda has with their cars. But yeah, that's everything integrated here into the headlight cluster. And then you guys will notice that we have this beautiful chrome trim that goes into the headlight area, and it kind of adds to the accenting overall. We've got the Honda logo here in the center portion, and then notice how we have the blacked out trim just down below that, and the rest of the grille is also blacked out. And then you guys can see the paint color on this particular one looks fantastic. I'll show you guys a little bit closer in just a second. Fog lights down below, and you can see the trim here at the bottom with the metallic flake in it. And other than that, that is everything here for the front end. Other than the hood, which we do have to mention, I really like the body lines here on either side that kind of pop out there, but you can see, especially in the sunlight, this color just looks fantastic. Now, coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you can see the design here on the wheels. You've got the silver trim on the top, and then you have the metallic gray just down below with the Honda logo there in the center. And then notice how the plastic molding from the bumper continues here for the fender flares around the side, and then that plastic molding continues all along the side and then around the back as well. It's a nice added layer of protection, especially if you take this on camping trips and all of that. And then popping up here, notice that the mirrors are body painted, but then the lower portion is blacked out. We've got nice chrome trim here around the windows of the CR-V. And then taking a step back, you can see the full side profile here on the CR-V. Notice the body lines here that come across look really nice, really clean overall. And yeah, that's your full side view. Now here's our key fob for the CR-V. First off, we got the Honda logo there on the back. Notice how you have the lock, the unlock, the remote start, and then the alarm button right there, and then the opening here for the rear hatch. So you just have to hold that down for a moment, and then it'll pop it right open. It does take a second to pop up, but relatively quick. Now here's the cargo area with the CR-V. First off, notice that we have the cargo cover that's already built in here from the factory. And then you've got these latches here to throw down the second row seats. And then if we move this little floor mat out of the area, we've got the strap you can pull up. This is where the spare tire lives out its days. And then you have a latch on the other side for the other seat here. And then we've got all the floor mats that come here with the EXL. And overall storage space back here is actually really solid. There's quite a bit going on. And then when you're all done, all you have to do is just press that, and then notice you can hold to set the height. So you can basically have it at lower height so it doesn't open up all the way. So like if you have a garage that's shorter in height, or you live in a place that has a parking garage, it also helps out with that so it doesn't open up all the way and hit the top. But yeah, that's all. Now finishing things here in the rear, we have the signature CR-V taillights here in the back, which you guys know I've always been a fan of. And then notice we've got the chrome trim here that holds the Honda logo, and then you've got your regular badges here on the back. And then you guys notice that the bumper down here again continues that theme of the cladding, and then we've got the metallic trim that's kind of integrated into that just to break everything up a little bit. And then we do have the exhaust tip just poking out there on the bottom portion, and then we actually have a recovery hook right there, which is pretty interesting to see. And then there's an exhaust tip actually on the other side, but Honda kind of hides them because that's not what the CR-V is about. It's not like a Civic where you're gonna, throw them out and you want people to see the exhaust tips. It's supposed to be a little bit more low-key. Now here's the door panel in the rear of this CR-V. Notice that we have the kind of like soft touch here at the top of the stitching. We've got wood trim just down below that, and then more soft touch here, and where you're going to rest your arm. And then notice the trim here on the door handle, it kind of continues all around that section. A couple speakers here for the sound system. And then here are the seats in the back. So you've got the mix between like the leather and then the perforated leather here and the center portion. Notice the stitching that they did throughout the seat. I think it looks really good. And then you do have this latch right here that you can pull to actually pull the seat forward if you want to do that. There's kind of a look, but then we'll quickly pop in. I got my leather man slippers on today. You guys can see legroom, and then you guys can see headroom back here is actually really good. And then the rear passengers do get some vents. They've got some USBs on top of that, and then we do get an armrest with a couple of cup holders, and then you got some nice stitching on that whole section right there. And well, let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. It's exactly the same as what you have there in the rear, with the soft touch and then the wood trim down below. And then this is a little bit softer than what you have there at the top. And then you can see just down below that with more stitching. All of your window controls right here. You've got the mirror adjustments, the memory seats up above, and then notice the wood trim goes all the way across, and then the metallic trim here in this area. And then here is the front seat. So again, you can see the leather, and notice the perforated leather as well. And I guess we get an exclusive because this one hasn't been through the inspection yet. So this is like how it comes off of the transport truck, if you guys were wondering. And then you can see that you've got the adjustments right there on the side of the seat, and then you can see the pedal layout just down below. And then this is where the gas cap release is. That is for the hood there in the front. Stability control, this is for the collision assistance. This is the lane departure, and then that is for the rear hatch. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable, if you're wondering. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now, something I want to mention before I go over the steering wheel is the new car smell you get with the CR-V reminds me of Home Depot. I don't know why, but the smell is very similar. I just thought I'd mention that in the video. Anyways, beautiful leather all around the steering wheel. And then this does have the adaptive cruise control with the steering assistance as well. We've got our voice command, phone controls, controls for the center stack, volume controls, all that on the other side. And then notice how they did darker stitching here with the steering wheel itself. We have the light/turn signal stock. We've got the windshield wiper stock on the other side. And that's everything for the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster. So first off, notice how we have the RPMs there in the center, and then it has like the fuel range. There are some different menus that you can scroll through with the pages button, so you can see different bits of information on the vehicle itself. Pretty easy to use overall. I love how you can go through like the radio channels, for example, and then this is like general vehicle information. Then you can actually change to the different radio formats, like if you want to listen to satellite radio, all that fun stuff. Then you can see the fuel gauge over here. You guys are probably wondering about the blinking lights. Again, this one hasn't been inspected yet. So again, it just came off the transport truck. New vehicles, it's always stuff like that. I thought it'd be cool to do a video on a vehicle like this. You guys could kind of see what it's like. But yeah, we got some blinking lights. You probably saw the tire pressure light there earlier. But once they take it through inspection and everything, all that stuff is figured out. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. So notice that the backup camera pops up. It has trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel. And then you have a different viewpoint here with this. And notice how you use this. You have the super close viewpoint right there if you ever hook up to a trailer, which is nice. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time is really good with these buttons here on the outside. You guys can see when I press stuff. Takes a second to load itself, but like the actual response is good. Hopefully that makes sense. And then on the screen itself, response time is also really solid. And this isn't Honda's like newest infotainment system, but it's still a really good infotainment system. I feel like it's very nicely integrated here into the dash. Still looks nice, still looks modern. And it's a good system. Now just down below we have analog controls here for the climate system. This does have a dual zone climate system, and you've got all those controls in this area. We have heated seats here for the front passengers. We have our parking brake, our brake hold, auto stop start, and then the econ mode, which is like your good fuel economy mode. Now down here we have quite a bit happening. So you have your regular car stuff right here, the reverse, neutral, and drive. This is like your sport mode basically, and then this is the low range. So again, if you want to do sporty driving, put it into the S, and then if you are going down like a really steep canyon or something, then you can put it into the low range. And then we have the storage space here. Notice we've got a couple of USBs in that area. We've got some cup holders right here. And we have the giant center console situation. So we have the armrest part of it, which you can open up. And notice how you've got this tab, which you can pull down, which is some extra storage space. Really easy to use. But again, this is the armrest, and then we have more storage space down here, more charging. Really good, especially for an SUV of this size. I feel like this has a ton of storage space, especially compared to the competition. And then coming over here, we've got the glove box. You can see, again, pretty large in size. Got the wood trim that continues there, and then we've got some black trim right here, and then same as what's on the top of the door panel, this same trim right there, so that is all the same, all matches. And then finishing things here at the top, we do have a regular sunroof here. Controls for the sunroof are just right here with these two, or sorry, this button, rather, this is for the lights, and then universal garage door opener. And then you can see you've got the sunglass holder that also doubles as the mirror, so you can watch the kiddos there in the back. I'm glad that they put this in the CR-V. A lot of manufacturers won't put this in cars of this size, or rather SUVs, because they're like, oh, it's not a third row SUV, you don't need it. But it's still nice to have, because there's plenty of families that only have, you know, 1 or 2 kids, and it'd still be nice to see what Junior's doing back there. So the window is very dirty, so I'm going to get my fingers dirty so you guys can see the window sticker here. Anyways, feel free to freeze a frame if you want to read all of the standard equipment rather that comes with the CR-V. Notice it says standard equipment at no extra cost. I love how they have to like define that. Most car manufacturers just say standard equipment, but Honda's like, we got to make sure that you're not paying extra for this. But anyways, then you've got the optional equipment over here with this particular vehicle. The exterior color does cost a little bit more. It's called Sonic Gray. I think it's worth it. Anyways, total MSRP is $33,970. But yeah, like I said, I think this exterior color is definitely worth it because it makes the CR-V really stand out and kind of differentiate it against other SUVs in the segment, just regular SUVs in general. Like here's the CR-V that's finished in blue. Right, there's another CR-V that is also, I think, finished in like a darker blue, basically. But you guys can see those ones don't really pop out that much, right? That looks good, it doesn't look bad. But then you see this, and this just really pops out. It looks really good. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Honda CR-V EXL. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with the CR-V. Check out the inventory link below. I will see all of you in that next video.